everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. I'm Stephanie if you're new here. So we are out in one of the pantries that I have out in the garage. I will share both of them with you. One of them I'm already going to have the food on the shelves because I don't have time to videotape that part. I kept talking about it in other videos that we needed to put something up on this wall, and I was going to either do seasonings and stuff on this side or put other things that we weren't able to put anywhere out in the garage. So Lauren just put up some shelves. I'm going to wipe down everything because everything is a little dusty from him working in here. But he had these shelves. These shelves he got from somewhere, and they were used for movies or CDs or DVDs or something like that. So he was able to get these, and they work out perfect in the pantry here. So he took two of them and divided them, and they fit against this back wall. And then we have this one right here that does the same thing. The only thing with these, they're not deep, so we have to kind of lay it out like this, and we just made it work. So I'm going to restock this pantry. I need to wipe everything down, like I said, because it's a little dusty. So I'm going to do that first. I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to put on these back shelves. Kind of talked about it a little bit. I do have some first aid stuff that I think I'm going to add to this part. So he did put a couple things up here. So I'm thinking of maybe doing that. I know he has ramen noodles right here, but I also thought that we do have a container down here that we do that. So I'm going to look in there and see if we need to put them in there. I might move some of this around. I'm not quite sure. And then that gives us more room for us to put more stuff. I do have all my canning stuff out in the garage in a different area. And then my regular canned goods and stuff. I do have some canned goods in here. This is just stuff that doesn't fit over there, and it just makes sense to have it in here because we have more of them. And what else do I have? Oh, I also haven't been able to share this with you guys in my other pantry restocks, only because we had them tucked away in a different area. So up here, if you guys can see, we have a bunch of these 48-hour emergency food supplies. So we have a couple of them for our family. I will leave a link down below if I can find a link to them, and then you guys can purchase them. But we got a bunch of them. Them are really good first starter prepper things. That is a great idea if you guys want to start prepping and having food on hand. Otherwise, you can just, I always say this in my videos too. What we did is every time we went grocery shopping, we would buy 1 or 2 cans of extra food items that we weren't going to use that month. And then ever since then, we just keep stockpiling on that. We don't have a huge area for us to just keep storing it. So we do use some of the food. But if we did have another area, we would keep, buying and just keep storing it. So like for our chicken, this is the only area that we have for that. As for sloppy Joe mix or beans or anything like that, if we were to get more of them, we really don't have a lot of areas for us to put more. So we're just going to go with what we have as long as we are restocking what we're eating. I do have another area, and I will share that with you, where we put all of our canned goods. This area is also insulated, so we are not going to worry about any food going bad. We also have our food grade buckets all on this area. We have our flour, sugar, and then he has like coffee and beans and oatmeal. We have a lot of stuff in here. So we also do dry canning, and all of my dry canning stuff is out in the other area. I do see that he has some beans and stuff up there in the corner, so that is mainly for just keeping it long term. So we do a lot of that. We also have fridge and freezers that we store a lot of our meat. Our pigs are going in this week, so we will have more of that from last year. Last year we had two pigs, and we still have a little bit of that. And then we are going to bring our steer in next year. So then we'll have that for meat also. Otherwise, we just always buy extra food for every month just to make sure that we can get through the month with food. And then we always buy a little extra. All right, so let me show you guys what it's going to look like after I get everything organized, but I'll take you guys along. I'll wipe down some of this stuff and then I'll try to figure out what I'm going to move, and I'll share that with you in today's video. What I'm doing here is just wiping down everything really quick. I'm not going to do a big deep clean with this pantry. I'm just going to wipe down some of the things that I've noticed that have a little dust and stuff on them. We usually wash down everything when we open up these containers anyways, when we bring them in the house. Evelyn was out here also, and she was taking some jars off the shelf and just wiping everything down. So that was helpful with some of the rows that needed to be wiped down. She was able to take some of the jars off by herself and then just spray and clean underneath. All right, for our sauces, I did pick up some and I needed to reorganize everything because some of this stuff was out of order. So I was just kind of matching everything up to make it make sense. And then if we needed something, it was easier to find. So I'm going to do this really quick and then I will move on to the next thing. So I'm going to move over these jars of gravy. I only have a couple jars, but I'm going to put them on this side so I have more room on the other side. These are our cans of chicken, and I had them on the other side too so that I have more room for Sloppy Joes and some of the SpaghettiOs that the kids asked for. So right here, I'm just going to move over like my coffee and jams and stuff to the one shelf that is new. And then we are going to move all of this beef stew over to this side. So we had one roll just kind of sharing with some other stuff. So this way it can all go on the one shelf. Then I have more room for the spaghetti sauce and pizza sauce and stuff on the other side. I did take all of my cans of tuna and place them on this one shelf. That way it can have its own shelf and it's just going to be tuna. And then the one shelf that it is sharing, that one is like the pulled pork and the meat in the can kind of thing. So I'm going to leave that on that shelf and then we can just get more jars. So with this pantry, we are very limited to what we can all store in here, but I have another pantry that I store mainly all of my cans. These are things that are going to be a longer food shelf. If we could, we would try to have every can of ours in one area, but we're not that far yet. So for right now, we just need to have the two pantries, and then the snack pantry, like I said, is usually in the house, and that's okay. But for this pantry, this is just going to be things that we can keep long term. Now, we don't have a lot in here just because I know I said in the beginning of the video that we have a lot in here, but we have a lot in here to fill what we already have. When we originally started doing food storage, we had our little shelf out in the garage, and I'll share that with you in a little bit. And we just kind of started that way, and then Lauren built this little pantry in the middle of our garage area, and he mainly wanted it to be for prepping and just having food on hand long term. And I kind of mentioned in the video that I kind of took over and did a little bit more. So if we could, we would build on, most definitely, if we had a bigger area. But for right now, this is just what's going to have to work. And then we have some other ideas in the future. But for right now, we are just going to organize all of this. Evelyn is going to help me. She's helping me get all the jars and stuff on the shelf. That was all our SpaghettiOs and stuff. So all right, so Lauren came out and we ended up starting to put all our medicine out on the shelves. We store a lot of it in containers and then in the house. I'm going to make this one side of the shelving system just for our medicines and
mainly like a little pharmacy in our food pantry. So a lot of this stuff we don't use. We just keep it on hand in case we need to. But it's just nice to be able to see it and have it on the shelf. That way we can, just kind of grab it.
I don't think I shared these in other videos, but Lauren has these containers, and that's what we're doing is we're taking some of this stuff out and putting it on the shelf so we know where it is. Otherwise, we would just come into these containers when we needed extra first aid stuff. So I'm only going to put gauze and stuff in these. He got them, it says Fleet Farm on there. So he also will store batteries and stuff in there. And then we have all the kids' medicine and stuff in there, like ibuprofen, Tylenol. I'm going to put this stuff on the shelf. So I have the kids' medicine. So I have the ibuprofen. Last year, I think it was, during the winters, I think we had a hard time getting Tylenol or ibuprofen, so he ended up finding some chewables, so we stocked up on that. If you guys have a way to get some of these that you want to put like maybe under your bed or something, and you want to store stuff, or up in your closet and you want to store stuff that you don't want your kids to get at, you could use that. So
all right. Now that we have everything on the shelves, I'm able to kind of go through it and see what we need and what maybe we need to like really think if we even need to have it or if we need to get more of. So I like having it out on the shelf. It was always kind of a mystery in these containers on what we all had. Even though he had everything labeled, it still was just kind of hard to keep track of. So for me anyways. All right, so here is everything back in order on this side of the shelves. This is all our condiments and all our sauces and stuff on this one side. So that is nice. The kids can just come out and grab what they need when they need it. I do have all our beans, not refried beans, but that is baked beans, and then our sloppy Joe mix, our SpaghettiOs, and that is that from what I just got on our grocery haul. And then we have our syrup and stuff on top. I have our black olives, and then our Spam, and then our lard we always keep up on top. I also have lard from our pigs last year. We have some lighting stuff in here, and Lauren just removed everything all around in here. So now everything is organized. We have candles and matches and everything out here also. So on that back wall, I need to fill the one area with tomato soup, but we have our meat in the cans. We have our sauces. I still need to get more honey, and our pasta sauce is on the back wall. And what else do we got? So the honey I need to just get more of, but that should be fine. So I have all our tuna, our gravy, and all of that on that one side. So everything is nicely organized. And then we have our meals up above. I have our cans of chicken, and then our beef stew down below. So Lauren wanted the beef stew for long-term food storage, so we don't use a lot of that. We also have all our food grade buckets, all of my canning lids, canning funnels, and all of that down below. We have our sugar, our flour, and all of that in these food grade buckets. So in these two buckets that I have down below, I have our flour and our sugar. And then for our, I want to say like our pharmacy stuff, we have all of that on this one shelf now, which is great. So that is going to be nice. I am so happy to finally have that out on the shelf, and we can just kind of come out here and look at the things that we need. All right, as for our food grade buckets, we have our sugar and flour right here. Before, I kind of had to move things around just to get to it. But these twist lids are amazing. So we like to use these on our containers that we use on a regular basis. And then I have some other lids that are more for long term. But these lids, they snap on. So them stay on a lot longer than the turn ones. All right. For my other stuff that I have off to the side, I have a bunch of labels. I also have some Marlar bags that we use for certain things. I haven't used them in a while, but I have them available if I do need to use them. The only thing with Mylar bags, you're going to want to make sure that you seal everything nice in them, and you're going to want to use maybe like a hair straightener or something to seal them. And you can cut these down to size. I mean, you can also reuse them and just seal them again with your hair, like if you have a hair straightener or whatever, that works great. And then I have a bunch of my labels. So I have everything out here for everything that I would use to store food. This is our second pantry out in the garage. This is where we store mainly all of our canned goods. So I have them labeled in different sections. So we have like, we have peas and green beans and carrots. We have our fruit is usually on the bottom with some of our like soup cans. I don't usually have a lot of them, but that's mainly for like freezer meals now. And then I have our cleaning baking soda, apple cider vinegar. We have our tomato juice and everything on the shelf down below. And then also off to the side is all my mason jars full of stuff. So on this shelf over here, I store all of our dry ingredients. And then I have a lot of the stuff that I canned up through the summer and some of our hamburger and stuff that I stored also out there. And then we have all of our dry goods and stuff out in that same area.
Right, so now that everything is all put back in the pantry, I kind of figured out some ways of reorganizing things, and I went over that today. So I did move some stuff around. So I tried moving all of this stuff, like all the condiments and stuff, over to this side, and it wouldn't fit. Like some of the bottles wouldn't fit, and I want that to be all together. So this is all our sauces and dressings and different things on just on this one shelving system. And on this side, we have all our SpaghettiOs and then our syrup and stuff over here. And then all our beans and Sloppy Joe mix. For over here, I just did our spaghetti sauce all on one, and that's usually how that one looks. But for our pizza sauce and marinara sauce, I think I'm going to buy more so we can fill up that shelf. And we are really low on honey. I have 2 back here, and so 4 altogether, and then this big one. We do have some in the house too, but I need to get more of that. I didn't realize I only have one. This is one of the things when we do this, I've joked about it in other videos, where if the kids come out here and they're like, we don't have anything, and I'm like, how can we not have it? So this is it. So I wasn't really good at coming out here and checking. So I need to order that. I'll probably come back on. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this video and how the lineup is.
Okay, so I ended up going to the store and buying a bunch of cans of tomato soup, and then I also got some corned beef hash, a couple cans of that, and I think I got 1 container of the chicken in a can. But that is it for my restock.
We do have tomato juice that we store, and I just showed you that. So we store that over there, and that's for like chili and stuff like that. So that's where I put that. You can get meat in a can. So we have our roast beef and we have our pulled pork. Lauren put our baking soda and stuff here. I have 2 more here. I have some paper towel here. And then all our tuna is just going to stay here. So this is awesome that I have 1 shelf just for that. And then we finally got all our medicine out here, which is awesome, because a lot of this was in our kitchen cabinet, and we put our coffee cups in there, and it was crazy. Like, there was just way too much stuff in there, and half the time we don't even use this stuff. So we do a lot of natural remedies when it comes to our kids' sickness and then our sickness. So some of this is just like pain reliever, stomach stuff we have up here. Ibuprofen for like us, like bigger, for the bigger kids, and pain reliever, witch hazel, alcohol, which we need to get more of that. We do carry a lot of this in our house too. This is just backup stuff. Random vitamins, first aid stuff. We do have other first aid kit that we do store on hand, but Lauren has that in a different area, and I don't usually share that kind of stuff with you. That's more where we have like I think they're called like bug out bags. So he is gonna get that set up, but I don't share a lot of that with you guys. If you would like me to share what we put in our bug out bags, put a comment down below and I can see what Lauren has on hand and I can share that with you. I was able to get all of this here. And then I have our wheat germ here. Oh, vitamins, this stuff has to go in the house because that I need. Our caramel sauce, our jellies, and then my coffee right there. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. So I've never shared that with you guys on my other videos. I kind of mentioned, you know, we have some stuff that we store on hand, but a lot of it we were kind of having it tucked away in case we just need to grab it and do whatever with it. Originally, the plan was to only have this as a prepper pantry, but I took over and I organized it. And I know you guys like it. So, but we are getting it organized, and this is just how it's going to be for now until we maybe do something else. We do have some other ideas in mind that we want to do, and we have it started, but it probably wouldn't get finished for another couple years. So we're excited for that, and hopefully we can do more of a cold food storage. That's what we're looking for. With us living in a garage, we do not have a basement. So if there's like a storm or anything, sometimes we just go, and we'll go by my daughter's house if we can get out fast enough. And then we're kind of safe in town versus out in the country. So we don't have that. So we don't have like a cellar or anything that we can store any of our food. So we took advantage of this area of our garage and just had like little areas that we could put some pantries up, and it works for us. So in the house, I have a snack pantry. I'm not going to share that in today's video, but I have a full playlist of all my past videos of my pantries, like how I redid this one, how we redid the snack pantry. I changed things around from our homeschool area to our snack pantry. So I have all different videos on that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.